what's up, Gary? This is a quick demo video for you for your scrap flex right here. Just got it done this morning. So I did make a few modifications of this guy. So I wanted to go over that with you, and then we'll crack it open and then finally turn it on for the full demo. But your switches, not sure what you wanted here, but I did make the front toggle or the front tactile here, your activation, and then your back tactile is your auxiliary switch. This guy here, this originally had a screw that went all the way into the blade chamber, almost, probably about halfway through that guy. I cut that off. I left just enough threads to thread it on, but nothing in the blade chamber. I was originally thinking I could use that for a blade retention, but it's so close to your pins that you didn't want to do that. It wouldn't hold the blade in right. So got that out of the way. I did drill and tap you an 8/32 set screw here, but centered it up with everything so it looks nice and like it belongs. It's lined up. That'll act as your blade retention. And I did not have another pin for you. I know that you said you were missing one. I said I may have one laying around. I looked everywhere. I don't have any right now. So anyway, that's the outside. Let's open it. One thing I noticed about these threads on your pommel is that they're a little tight. Not a big deal. Threads on, threads off, doesn't lock up or anything. It's just, I wasn't used to it at first, so I was thinking I was coming at it sideways or something, and no, it's just that they're tight. So we'll take this off. This did come in two pieces, so the pommel cap was off and then the pommel, but you don't have to take the pommel cap off. And here's your board. That's the Golden Harvest board that you gave me to wire up for you. And then everything, you got a removable battery set up. The spring is your negative side. Your positive is over here towards your speaker. Now, I went through this board and all the way up to the pins, everything. So I took everything out and I resoldered and cleaned everything except for your two tactile switches. I went over those and those didn't seem to me like they'd cause an issue. So I left those alone, but resoldered everything on the Pixel PCB all the way down, cut everything off the board that you had soldered to it, cleaned off all the pads, and just redid everything. Took your battery terminals. You've got the same battery terminals that I usually use in my chassis, but you had that, these terminals come with a little lip that you had bent over and soldered. I just cut that off. Sometimes I like to cut that off completely and solder to the back of the terminal. It gives me a little bit more room that way. But your speaker was already in place, so we left that alone. And then did come up from behind or from underneath the board and wired everything. And then all your wire slack is around here on the inside. And of course, this chassis is held in place with this set screw right here. There's nothing to get to on the underside of this board. There's only the SD card. So because that's the case, and this wasn't a tight press fit in this board shelf, I went ahead and I adhesed this board down so it won't move on you, but you can still take your SD card in and out right here. So no worries on that. It's clean. If you looked at it, you could look closely at it. You're not going to be able to tell even where, I used some stuff to adhese that to the chassis. Well, let's throw a battery in it. It's a tight fit, but meant to be that way. Everything holds in there really well. We're gonna screw the pommel on. Like I said, that pommel is gonna act like, you might think that it's binding up on you, but it's not. It's just a little tight. Maybe you know that already because this was your Sabre, but it kind of caught me by surprise at first. Spent about 15 minutes actually seeing what was wrong with it before I realized that nothing was wrong with it. I've got a 1-inch test blade here, so we're gonna throw that in. screw down your blade retention. And now, front button is your activation. Smooth swing. Flash on clap. Hold down the auxiliary. Everything's working well. That's a double tap on your auxiliary. Just double tapping on your activation. And that's changing your color. Rainbow blade. Just kind of going through them. Flame blade. So I want you to be able to see that the pins are working like they should and the board is sending the signal like it should. We'll turn it off by holding the activation down and then back on. So everything's working well, nice and tight. There's nothing loose in here. Can't see any wires from the top of the board, and this thing is firing right up. So I hope it came out the way you liked, and I will get this in the mail to you this afternoon. Thanks.